Hello everyone, been away for a while. I've needed to this retrograde period. Instead of putting messages out, I've been messaging myself within, because if I put messages out there, then it's likely going to be misunderstood, especially when Mercury's in retrograde. So instead, use that energy to speak to myself through this period, and here I am. I have another video of me pulling the cards that I have in front of us here, apart from the Starseed Oracle and the light Oracle cards. Although I was cleansing the cards when these jumped out in the way that they did, so we're going to run with that. And the two cards for the Starseed are the Great Severing and Big Picture Thinking. Now, I haven't looked at these just yet. Let's have a look. So, the Great Severing, which includes the Mars energy, right, which is anger, conflict, and softening to love. Leading to the Big Picture Thinking, it's Pleiades energy, visionary and inspired ideas. It's interesting how those two are connected, because it's cutting cords to previous self, which, if we limit ourselves, right, then we are unable to see the big picture or be inspired with anything new, because we're always repeating the same old cycle. So the Great Severing, releasing the cords and the ties that limit oneself, brings us into that big picture thinking. I think that's quite beautiful. Now, supporting this, it's like, where is that conflict happening, and how is the big picture being brought forward to us? I had done exactly the same thing with these three cards here, and it seems so simple when it's written out here. Like, you've got Soul Family there. Have a look at that card there for a second if you want. Unbound and Just Say Yes. Yes, so we've got Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Just say yes. So if you look there, from the first cards that we had above to these, calling in your soul tribe can be completely different, and is completely different for each and every person. For me, it's been going on the inside. It's been asking for assistance through spirits, holding myself to see how everybody else in my environment becomes my mirror. And I have been using technology as well, so that's how it's manifested in my life. Now, the unboundness, the releasing of old patterns and contracts, past lives, then don't necessarily have to be with other people, right? Because it all starts within ourselves. Although it's likely that unbinding yourself from yourself has unbound you to other people. And it's quite difficult, this middle part, to unbind yourself, because you've got to be, or at least I have to be, completely honest with myself. What it is that I need to unbind myself from. What do I keep perpetuating into? Where are the loops? And it's very difficult, because of course, like, theoretically, we all want to be able to see that we could, where these contracts are within ourselves, where these cycles and loops and where they are, and we want to come away from them. But actually doing it is very, 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 very difficult, because it's a learned thing, and it can be painful to be able to admit to ourselves what we have done within ourselves, what we have allowed and what we allow, and why we've allowed it. Whether that, it's not even, it's so hard to, for me at least, to put into clear and concise words, because let's have a look at some of the contracts, right? What we could be. So old soul patterns. It's like, for example, not listening to your own intuition and ploughing on ahead, feeling like we can understand and we can hear, and we're keeping in our mind what our subconscious is trying to tell us. Okay. Now, letting go of the restraint that we have in listening to our intuition can be very, very, very difficult, because we have emotion that comes into play with a lot of things, right? And we have our own previous past experiences, and that can be all sorts of different psychological experiences. For example, it can be abandonment issues and things like that, right? And if we've experienced those before, then we resonate with it, then we would never want that to happen upon someone else. So if we would never want that to happen upon someone else, it's because we would never want it to happen to ourselves. So that can tie us into an old contract saying that abandonment is a thing that's here. It's not if we let go of it. We just have to say yes to it. Just say yes. It's very, very, very difficult, but you can find the peace in there. All right, and in another video, I feel like I need to make quite a clear video on return to senders and my philosophy of how I can do it, and also, cord cuttings and all those kind of things. Just because it has a potential to work for me doesn't mean it works for everybody else, but you can adapt it as you see fit. Anyway, moving on. Just say yes. Now, I've pulled some runes, as well as cards from a few decks. I haven't really looked at the cards other than this top one. This is a brand new deck for me. I don't have my normal decks with me, but it's a lovely deck of cards, and it's from the Book of Shadows Tarot, and this is the So Below version, right? Now then, in Crowning the Current Energy, we have, in terms of the So Below cards, and this is for this week, right? We have the Moon. We have the previous part of this week will be the Six of Cups. The present moment, today, for example, or the energy that you're feeling when you see this within this week, is the Knight of Pentacles. And ending the week, we'll move into the Knight of Wands. The outcome of this week is the Lovers in reverse. Now, you can see that we've got some runes here, and I'll just quickly explain these. So all the runes that are face up here are ones that are clearly observable. And the ones that are face down, they're ones that we cannot see within ourselves yet. Okay, and if I turn this one over, this is the sun shedding light. It's something which is quite fitting, really, because we don't know what's at the end of the week, but there will be some sort of light shone on there. Okay, and the outcome, we've got the gift, or X marks the spot. We can't see it. We have in the center, what I say for today, we have X marks the spot here. It's a gift, can be the gift, but it's also, for me, the way I've seen this is as if it's like, yes, this is today. Okay, and in the past we've got this, which is a period of cooling your emotions. It's like chilling out and not making any rigid plans, not making any solid plans, just sitting with yourself, so to speak. It's like a stop a slowing down, should I say. And then we've got change at the top. I believe that's change. It's about harvest, it's about justice and a well-deserved reward. Okay, so crowning this. Now, when we look at these cards, when I look at these cards, crowning the situation, we've got the moon. Usually that's like deceptive things happening, right? In the case of this, deck, it says here, an uncertain situation, both fraught with deception, but also revealing important truths. Now, like I said, a lot of people, including myself, would be wanting to project this reading onto other people. Right? We want to be able to see, oh, this is them and this is me and all of those in between and who it could be, right? For me, I'm doing this reading to be looking at ourselves. With these cards, this is ourselves. For me, how you take it's up to you. So it's like a situation has arisen that is clouded in deception. Maybe you didn't even see it coming. Can be around the time of a full moon, right? And it could be heavily emotional as well. It's like a rising from an emotion. This situation where you were maybe once drowned in emotion and you've come up for air, walking out into the full moon that shines light upon everything in the night. Yeah, we've got a Cancer energy there, that lobster. It's that being tough and hard on the outside to the situation while still remaining soft on the inside. It's that parental energy, so to speak, that we're coming out of here. Now, the beginning of the week would have been potentially here, like the Six of Chalices. It's like that. It's remember the Six of Cups. It's remembering nice times. It's in a positive way. It's calling back on those lovely memories that you've had with your people, right? With all the things that you love, be it cake, be it tea, be it play, be it spirits, be it your children, be it being in the outdoors, right? It's like we've got a lot of purple here as well, which is, to me, I feel like it's crown chakra energy. It's like when you are feeling connected with everything around you, spirit. It's not that internal connection, so to speak, because we're not in that hermit mode there looking within. It's more about what's on the outside, and it's calling up those memories. But when you have a look with the stillness, it's like slow that down. It's like look at it for what it was, enjoy it for what it is and what it was, but don't deceive yourself. Don't walk back into the moon, into the water, right? Don't walk back into the moon with it, into that emotional depth for it to go away, because it makes things a lot more difficult to moving into the current energy of like today. We have a gift. X marks the spot. It is with the Knave of Pentacles here. Now, the Knave of Pentacles it's doing physical work in a way. It's doing physical work within nature, using nature's energy. Like you can see that the guy here is typing on his computer, on his laptop, but he's out in nature and he's observing how nature kind of flows with itself, how the energy moves. It's being connected in that way. It's being very grounded. Yeah. The Knight of Pentacles usually is about sowing seeds into fields. It's it's bringing something into reality. It's being grounded in your reality. Looking at it with this one, what are you saying? That's Cups. Right. Studies the rhythms of nature and learns the secrets of the physical realm. Now, if you look at that progression, the full moon is usually the change, right? It's usually the full illumination of emotion within that period of time. We've just come out of the Mercury retrograde, and I think that we're still in, or maybe coming out of the Venus retrograde very soon. Now, holding those memories that you have within you, not to let it run away with you to go backwards, but instead to ground it and to understand how those energies worked all together. Looking at how those energies work together by not running away with yourself kind of brings in that ability to observe how that energy flows and really what relates to us and what doesn't, like what serves us and what doesn't. Okay, but it's not shunning what doesn't serve us with any sort of negative connotation or energy, because what doesn't serve us will serve somebody else. So it's allowing it to flow towards that which that energy serves, while harnessing and harvesting the energy which serves us, being in awe of the way energy in our environment flows, grounding ourselves. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? Now, coming into the Knave of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands, I believe, right, that's usually quite like a passionate action of watching things evolve, but at least that's what I'm getting from this. I can see all of the fire lizards here, and the earth around. It's like they're all on solid rock as well, and it's passion energy. We've got the symbol of fire here. Now, in terms of this deck, you've got the Knight of Wands, focuses her will and gathers her power, right? That's I think that's beautiful, because when you look at this, you've come out of this deceptive situation with yourself, okay? You've come out of this deceptive situation with yourself, and it's brought about these messages that are really important and difficult to overcome, right? Because when you come out of that deception of yourself and you reflect back on the memories that you've had, holding them still and understanding how they all work together, discerning what like no longer serves you to pass on to wherever that goes, and taking what is beautiful in the creation of your environment, your reality, then moves that forward into that gathering of that information that you've got there, that earth, that solid universe, and then to focus all of your will into creating that as a whole within yourself. It's illuminating all of those parts within yourself, right, to see if there were any more areas of deception. But I would say not to rush with that, because it's one thing at a time. You don't want to overwhelm yourself and bring yourself back into a motion where the past memories won't serve you for your best good. Instead, would hinder you. So you've got to be careful with this one. I would say you don't have to. I mean, I'm going to be careful with it because it makes sense. Until I've managed to gain everything all together and understood what my reality is, and then use that passion and put my will forward to make that alchemized and evolve. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and what we don't see here is the sun. I believe it's Sigil. Let's have a look. So, yeah, it's sun, it's success, it's good health and unity, it's peace with oneself, right? Peace with oneself. Because observing the energies, half and half, the positive and that which we could consider negative to each and every one of us, right, can be different for each person, but putting our will into what we have observed and learnt here, observing how our world and nature around us, our own nature, observing how our own nature interacts with our own reality, then brings us into that will to be able to move forward in the direction that truly belongs to us. Because unbinding ourselves with the support of the soul family, and that, like I said before, that can be your friends if you want to. It can be anything. It can be anything. But remember, it's that which resonates with your actual soul, right? Not what we want it to resonate with our soul, but what actually resonates with our soul. The thing that cannot be placed or found anywhere in this reality. Yet. Okay? And that speaks a lot about the Great Severing, because the Great Severing is like it's right in the middle of this card here, in a way, which is our current. But it's being able to discern through energies of the past that were positive, okay, and holding those and seeing where the beauty is in those, but also in the negative, but not to look at it in the ways of the negativity, more to look at it and go, hey, okay, these times were very, very good, okay, but on the other hand, I lost my own boundaries. I didn't listen to my intuition with myself, and therefore I was breaking my own boundaries. I may have been normalizing things that should not be normalized for the sake of love and growth, right? So it's severing that. It's letting go of the anger. For some people it can be anger. There's definitely conflict. There may have been conflict in the physical, but it's the internal conflict we're talking about, the one within ourselves. And that comes from an inner anger of ourselves sometimes. I know that for myself. If I've been lying to myself, that manifests in this world as sometimes me getting very, very, very frustrated with myself because there's something that I cannot come to terms with within myself, seeking the other part of the truth. Right? But that whole action, the actual severing, it's funny because where we can see is that Mars energy, which is, that conflicted passion as well, right? It's the softening of love that ends that cycle. That's what actually you can say, look, the anger, great, conflict, severing, softening to love. And it really is about softening to love. And I'll speak about that in another video when it comes to the cord cutting, return to senders type aspect. Right? And then when you come into this energy here, it brings in that big picture thinking. It's the visionary within yourself, because your will is observed how you've interacted within your environment and within yourself, that you will for a better outcome. And to just say yes is easy, but to actually put your will into yes is something that will inspire many ideas within yourself, because you'll be breaking old cycles and you'll be like investigating where the new ones are, okay? What you can't see is that happiness. The spirit is working in the background for you to be at peace with yourself, for you to shine light on yourself, to have energy and be invigorated. Now, in the future, the outcome, should I say, is the Lovers in reverse here. We've got the Lovers in reverse, and we've got the partnership, the X marks the spot. Like, this is in line with the middle, the medium on this, and we had in the light, we had X marks the spot, the gift here, and this is like almost the below. This is the outcome. We've got Lovers in reverse, and we've got partnerships. Okay, so the thing, how we can say this, so like this would be a gift, partnerships, benevolence, sharing, and sharing gift or present. So it could be also being present, right? Meaning the present time. It could be that you have separated with somebody, or you've separated with yourself, And it's not necessarily observable by everybody, but in spirit it's known. It could be that it could be at this current time that this is happening, and yet it hasn't come into full fruition. But let's have a look at the Lovers in reverse here, because from this picture you can see you've got a house here with two people moving into it, and in reverse would suggest that that isn't happening. That isn't something that's going to happen in here, but I've got a feeling that there is a slightly different meaning within these cards. That might mean something to somebody. The Lovers in reverse. So it's doing something for the wrong reasons. Right, that makes a lot of sense in this one, because we've got the present time here. Remember how I said about this line, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles in this present time, the gift of being able to observe this energy. It is absolutely making sure that the foundation of where all of this is coming from, so that the outcome will be correct and actually be a gift, as opposed to an unwanted outcome. Okay, it's making sure that the reasons that you are, or that I am, moving forward into this positive will, this passionate will, is for exactly the right reasons. And that means to go back inside and check yourself, right? And using all of this, am I deceiving myself? Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Is it to gain attention? Is it to hold my own space? What am I doing? And how? What have I been doing? How have I been lying to myself? And you can do that by looking at yourself through your own eyes into the earlier part of this week. Okay? And it might be that the relationship with your old self coming out of this retrograde, especially if you've been focusing mainly on your own observation, on your own actions, and how you relate to your environment that you're in. Yeah? If you've been still with that, then it can be that you've started a new cycle of rebirth, of growth, of evolution, right? But it also could very well mean that other relationships within your environment are now beginning to move away because they weren't for your greatest good. And it's not out of any sort of anger, emotion, negative emotion, or anything other than that. You don't have to hold resentments to any of these relationships that may be leaving you. You do not, absolutely not. Okay, because that would actually just bring you back into the past cycle. But it's knowing that if it isn't good for you, it isn't good for them. You have your boundaries and you must uphold them. You're severing ties with your old self, okay, which is what has always kept us in these kept us in these cycles to begin with, because we've not put the boundaries for ourselves, with ourselves, where we've needed to be able to maintain our own energy. Okay, and when we don't listen to ourselves in that way, where we don't uphold our own boundaries with ourselves first, because we can't uphold our boundaries with anybody else until we've able to do it with ourselves. So when we don't set the boundaries for ourselves and maintain them, what happens is that the situations can grow out of control because the limits are always pushed. Now, it could be that what is unseen, that this ending of this relationship is actually a gift for all people involved in it separating. It's a hidden gift. It may not be something that someone, that any party wants per se, right? There may be some resentment towards this actually happening, but underlying, it's a gift. Okay, so this was the inside card for ourselves. Let's have a look at what Spirit has said about these to me in the way that these are pulled. It hasn't said anything just yet, if that makes sense. But we'll have a look anyway. I'll put this there, move you there like that, and then we'll go like you. Okay. Oh, I've got the sun under the sun there. I've just seen. Okay, so we have here the Six of Swords, and it's, remember, we've got the Harvest rune on the top there. It's like this deception, this self-deception, has sent you on a journey of the mind, on a long journey, crossing those emotional waters. It's leaving something behind, and in the physical manifestation of it, it is physically moving forward while the emotion is being carried along. And this is like the harvest of the overarching energy here. This is what's crowning the current week. This is the journey of the week. And we've got here the Knight of Swords. It's fast motion, it's fast logic. It's like supporting this, looking. This is why we're saying about holding still. It's holding ourselves with the memories of the past, and then Spirit sending us lots of downloads, lots of overwhelming even information about what was happening within this relationship with ourselves, right? Within these memories of ourselves. And this is why it's good to take a pause, to be still. I think what's lovely in a way is that even though the past isn't negative, the past is behind us, and we've got that symbol there. It also looks like a negative, a minus. It's like we're moving from a more negative place into a positive place, the sun, the positive. Not that what was in the past was negative. It could have been, but what I mean is that the way we're always moving to, we're always trying to move from a place of negativity to a place of positivity. And this place here, which is the sun at the end, will become the negative of the next week, if that would make sense. Okay, so bear with me. So all of these inner reflections, memories of self, your memories, your perceptions, after this time of having to physically go on this journey because of the deception that was going on there, that self-reflection coming into play gives us lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of information, which is why holding that still and not acting too fast. But all of that information is how we observe the energy within that environment there. And this brings us into the Nine of Cups, so to speak. It's like having that personal happiness in a way. It's being content with oneself, and that is a gift. And that is truly a gift because it makes that spot to start from. It's strange how like the Nine of Cups is so far up the deck when you've got 10, the next one, which is that complete happiness. It's that happiness on the outside as well. You have to go through so many different cups to get to this point, and then it's just one step and boom, you've got it all. But it starts with you first. It's a long journey to be able to understand yourself and how you feel, and to be all right with that in a way, and to be able to realize that we are the masters of our own emotion. And if the mirror of somebody else and their actions is affecting us in the way that it does affect us, okay, then it means that we have some resonance with it, which means that we have to go through that process of uncovering that deception and go on that journey, being still with the memory of the past, making sure it's not anchoring you in the wrong way, but actually, like quartz, releasing thousands of volts when it's compressed. All of that energy to be observed within that time right? Where we can see where that positive was and where that negative is. And where that negative can be a positive for somebody else, to let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. And taking that positiveness, which is going to bring, which while making us extremely happy, because observing how the energy of what's positive within us makes us happy within ourselves, which brings us to that will of being able to perpetuate that and observe our surroundings and really see in our surroundings that which resonates with us. Look at the colour of the lizards and the colour of her hair. It's like it's spirits coming in from all different angles, ways we never had seen before, from solid places and through the mud. Being pleased with ourselves, being at peace with ourselves. Now, when we look at it as well here, that moves on to the sun. And in this sun, we've got it's almost like a rebirth through passion, because you're not a baby per se, but you're quite young in this new sort of way that you're manifesting yourself coming into the future. And you're sat upon the white horse. Here we've got the white wolf, and now you're on the white horse, but you don't have any reins on it. You're completely free going with it. It's like part of the chariot. It's like half of the chariot, because you're going along with the flow. The sun's watching over you. You've got sunflowers in the background, and that horse is looking after you. You can see how discerning your face is. Can you? There we go. You see how discerning the face is, looking forward. And you can be completely chill with that. It's uncovering the truths of the self and observing with fresh new eyes all of the light that the positive willpower and creation of your reality, as observed through the downloads that have come from reflecting on something that may have happened earlier on this week, last week, throughout, or even legacy memories, but being still with them and not letting that emotion run away, coming out of that self-deception and taking that journey through logic, with spirit, being guided. And here, underneath the lovers, we've got the Eight of Cups. And that's walking away. It's a difficult energy in a way, because stacking cups, isn't easy, I can imagine, like those cups. And the walking away part, the beautiful thing I can see about this card is that when you've taken the time to structure all of these cups, it's out of respect, right? You must have loved whatever it was that you were building there. And to turn around and be able to walk away from it without kicking them all over and spilling them over the ground and damaging them and spitting on them and cursing on them. It's walking away, leaving those in a good light, leaving them with the respect that they deserve, okay? And you've got the moon and the sun here. You've got the back of the sun coming into the moon. It's shining that little bit of light onto the emotion. It's, where you've got that moon energy, the deception, and shining just a little bit of light on there. But remember, the moon is also emotion still. So although the moon card is deception, we've got this card here, which is shining light upon that deception, which means you had to walk away from something within yourself. But this is the spirit side, what I'm saying. The as above. This may not, these rider cards that I'm calling on may not be actually what is just within the self. This is like a bridge part. It's the below cards that I'm saying we're looking at ourselves, but this might be the physical actions that are actually happening within your environment, right, which is observable. This is how I'm going to say it, the above. It's the actual physical walking away, and it's walking away of that which isn't serving us, right, not deceiving ourselves within that, right, which is a gift that we cannot see just as of yet. And that can be physically walking away from yourself and the old things that you do. Saying no. You've hit a pattern. You've hit an end of something, and it's beautiful because it hasn't had to happen as a death card, right? It's not something that's had to have died, right? You're literally walking away from it, preventing the any need for any sort of death or rebirth. This is being responsible. This is walking away from what we may be deceiving about ourselves and other people. And if we are deceiving ourselves, then we are deceiving the other person. And if we are deceiving the other person, then we are deceiving ourselves. And nobody will gain when there's two entities that are deceiving each other and therefore deceiving themselves. No matter how much emotion was stacked up in it, it's got to be a part to move on. Right, now then, I know that I did draw a card for the bottom of the outcome with these, but it's gone missing somehow, and I have no idea how. It's weird how it's happened. That's spirit, okay, and the way spirit works. I thought it was a 5 of something. It may have been the 5 of Cups that's here actually. Anyway, we'll go with that because I'll put those there. The Chariot, lovely. Oh. 3 of Wands, and I'll tell you what, let's put another for that. What are you saying? Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the crowning from the week, we've got the King of Cups energy here. This could be a man over 25 with blue eyes or have fair or brown hair, gentle, emotional and shy. This could be your masculine energy, like if this is the card that's coming over you of this week. This could be how you are feeling. It's like you are emotionally more mature here, right? And you are in your masculine energy, meaning the way you are interacting with your environment is in a very physically, emotionally mature. Okay, you're being quite nurturing, soft. You can be, the emotional part here is about that nurture, I feel. But shy, you could be more in an observation, a more observant energy at the moment. You kind of, instead of opening your mouth so much, you can be interacting with your world as a king would. Observing, seeing, feeling, okay? And instead of speaking about that too much, maybe looking at yourself and using that energy to speak to yourself about it, to observe yourself and how you are feeling instead of distracting yourself. Now, in the past part of this week, we have the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the 5 of Cups. Right, so let's see what that can be. We've got here the High Priestess. What is said here? By the way, the number 255 can mean something to you. We've got 55, we've got 6, 26, 55. Anyway, we've got the High Priestess, the highest value card in the tarot deck. Very powerful. Good or bad secrets can be revealed. Look, that's beautiful. The way that we've got that memories, the holding still. Where have you gone, Mr.? Oh, look at that, another sun. Where have you gone? Oh, yeah. For some reason, you've come down on top of the Knight of Pentacles, holding still on that. I don't know why that moved. Anyway, so slowing down, looking at those memories of the past, fast information coming in. It's like here we've got the secrets of yourself being revealed, secrets being unveiled within yourself, which is protected by God. It's like this could be. If you wanted to, well, I'm going to speak from that part first before I go into those storylines. So this could be like spirit, fast motion, fast air, logic, your mind, intuition, looking into your memories while holding still, using that intuitive card, the Pisces card, the High Priestess, being wise as an owl, right, which has been directed by God to look inside of yourself. And feels like you come into this Five of Cups, but the Five of Cups in here is not all is lost. If you look behind, you may still have something to salvage. It's not looking back at feeling the loss that you have, but actually all of the information that you've gained from it, the way you've been able to allow yourself to grow so you can be unbound and say yes to severing those old contracts with yourself and therefore others, and go into that bigger picture thinking that we have there. Now, this is good in a way, because this Five of Cups from the past side of the week is like you may be feeling that energy of losing that part of yourself. I know that I have, and I've been sleeping a lot. I've not been able to focus and all those kind of bits. It's the residual energy, and it's the way it flushes itself out of you, right? But it's the 5, and it's supported by the Hierophant, which is 5. Again, it's like God is looking after this. Keep following your higher power. You're doing the right thing. This also could be about a relationship with a person. This could be about anything to do with government, be it court, be it any sort of legislation, or it could be about a work or somebody providing a service to you. Okay, it's saying about official buildings or an official situation. An official building could be a church. It could be going to your place of reverence. Yeah, it could be that special place that holds special to you, which would be considered like a church. Be that down by the sea. It could be anywhere. It could be in your kitchen. It could be anywhere. But moving up, but that it's like it's a very nice progression. I see the Priestess to the Hierophant and the Five of Cups. It's letting go, right? It's making that formulated, structured way of implementing into the current energy, that which is the secrets that have been revealed, both positive and negative, and keeping the positive, allowing us here, and letting go of that negative, right, which will give us that Five of Cups. But that brings us into the Chariot, which is 7. Okay, and we've got here 16 potentially, because we've got 7 and we've got 9 and 7. Yeah, maybe that means something to someone. Anyway, I don't know why I'm jumping into the numbers. I don't really need to right now. We'll do that afterwards. just trying to organise myself. Anyway, you've got the Chariot, so that's a forward movement. Remember how I said about here, how we've got the horse on the sun, which is like half of the Chariot, and here we've got the horse looking over there to it. But this horse here, this Chariot, has got the wheel inside of it, right, which is almost like the Wheel of Fortune. I'm getting Wheel of Fortune type of vibes, whereas the Chariot in the other ones, you normally see the front of the Chariot, where here the horse is the Chariot and the wheel is moving. And it could mean to someone moving a residence, a journey, victory over a situation or problem, or balancing opposite polarities. Now, for me, in context of this read, supporting that happiness, that personal independent happiness of self, of emotion within the self, by observing the energy in the environment around and how it works together, it feels that looking at this past, and especially through remembering any sort of memory, being able to look at the good and the bad secrets that are revealed and systematically, under the eyes of God and the Spirit, in your own sort of way, letting go of half of that, letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. It's that balancing and learning how to put it into a place within yourself that you can actually be happy. It's not about holding any sort of pain or resentment afterwards. It's being able to put those emotions into the right and memories, right? So the right memories, the right emotions into where they deserve to be able to give that, where was the cups? Here we go. The Eight of Cups, so that you may able to stack your cups with in the way that they deserve. Because just because something wasn't good for you, be that your own sort of way that you entered yourself into cycles, doesn't mean that it was like it's terrible, a terrible thing, because it got you to where you are now. So keeping that respect for what's happened, for those memories, and this will give you victory over a situation, should you choose to, over a problem, right? And it denotes here, like we've got journey here. That could be a physical journey, but if we're looking into the later parts of the week, it's like journeying from the past, feeling that incredibly beautiful energy, the gift that is the present, right? It's sending you onto a journey to the end of the week, which is bringing about this enlightenment here. But we've got the Three of Wands, travel, overland, surveying your kingdom. Right. Where this is in reverse, I feel this is really talking about the internally. This is like, instead of surveying your kingdom in the way of the pentacles on the outside, it's looking at the kingdom within. It's shedding light on that kingdom within. It's almost reflecting what it's saying here about staying still. It's like, don't jump off and try the fool energy, because the fool isn't present here. Everything that we're doing here is not foolish. It's not necessarily that fool in the new beginning, though if you were to combine all of these cards, it would probably total up to a fool, so to speak, but it's not shown here. Instead, it's about holding your ground. It's not moving within your boundaries, because you're learning, you're putting your willpower into this positive motion, which is shedding so much light on yourself. And because you're young in this energy that you can be feeling as you're coming in, it means that the previous situations that have allowed you to break your own boundaries, to move out of your own boundaries, by traveling out and letting go of those and trying to reach out to certain things and not being still within yourself, reflecting within yourself, right? Opening yourself up to new situations that could end up allowing you to relapse that within yourself is what could be the detriment to this actually coming out in full fruition. Now, I wouldn't say that it means that it's going to happen. It's just the advice that's given here, right? Because it shines light on the inside. Now, where this was not seen, okay, and we've got like surveying your kingdom. We've got the sun here on the outward energy, and then on the inward energy, we've got, look, surveying your kingdom, shining light inside, outside, inside, traveling within instead of overland, underland, going inside of yourself. Okay, and this brings that Knight of Pentacle energies here, which is a young man to 25, it says. Okay, we've got a boar, very earthy energy, visitors or a message to share. Now, in terms of this, I mean, it almost looks like if this is in relation to me, perhaps this is my message that I'm to share to you. I'm not sure. But what I'm really getting from this is a physical energy that can be something from that past, right? From that relapse, sort of, not relapse, that the relapse part of warnings here. I mean, the memory that allows, that could, reason why that card's there, to relapse, to be still with this, go through this motion here, right? But the physical manifestation of what could allow this not to complete and keep us within that previous cycle, which potentially we may have been able to have completed within ourselves from this retrograde, could very well physically, we've got the P here, could well very possibly physically end up trying to come into your actual reality, into your actual earth. Okay, and should that be the case, the only thing I can say is that what will happen was always going to happen and shall happen, right? But you have to give yourself a chance. You must make sure that you are not deceiving yourself. Do not deceive yourself. It would be best not to give in to the positive memories of the past that allowed those negative cycles. You've had so much from Spirit to tell you about. The most important thing is that the balance in the middle, you must be yourself happy with yourself. You must be emotionally content with yourself. It's not the Ten of Cups. It's not everything around you. It is you with yourself, because you're going on that journey to shed that light, to expand that willpower of your manifestation. Look inside of yourself. Okay? For some of you, who knows? But this looks like the outcome by the end of this week. Not necessarily by the end of this week. It could be. This is the first time I've done this type of reading. Okay, this could very well be the energy of next week. This could be the outcome of this week as observable at the end of the week or the beginning of the next week. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to wait and see to see how this affects me in my current life. But there is change. Okay, and if I look at the below cards here, let's have a look. Right, so underneath all of this, we've got the Ace of Cups there, which is like an overflowing emotional understanding. You've walked away from the last one here in the Rider. You've walked away from that Eight of Cups, right? There is a cup missing here, which means that this could be the cup that you're holding. And this one is overflowing. You're overflowing with emotion in this area, right? And we've got the Ten of Wands here, which is being overburdened. It's like You're overflowing with an emotion. You want to hand out this cup of overflowing emotion, and you're overburdened by it. Almost, you kind of grabbing all your bits and pieces. There are gifts there, bags there, shopping. You've got your lizards in there too, and you're shining light on the lock with your phone. It's almost like you're going on a travel, but the burdens that you may be carrying in this instance, right? They may be things that are old baggage to yourself that you need to let go of, because when you do, you get into that Empress energy. It's like you get to, look, she's camouflage. She's wearing camouflage here. She's able to blend in with her surroundings. Yeah, she doesn't need to be seen by anything because she is the Empress. The stars know her, as do her children. And when the child gets hurt, with a smile, with care, and it's like the ability for the Empress to be that nurturing mum, to show that everything's okay, right, is to be able to pass that on to the child, knowing that everything is okay, right, instead of giving that potential of that, oh, you're wounded sort of energy. It's like, everything's fine, I'll put this on it and we're all good, let's move on, my darling, go out back and play with your ball while I'm growing your food. Yeah. And then straight after that, we've got the Emperor. It's like moving into that energy from this Empress energy. It's like, okay, what am I planting in this garden? How am I going to feed my children? Right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get down to business. We're working. We're making those deals. We're moving on, and we're happy about it. We know what's happening. Look, this is all feminine here. We've got the Empress, feminine. We've got the Emperor here as a feminine. Could it be that the Empress is this child? The Emperor is this young guy, the Emperor being brought up by the Empress? Yeah, potentially. But regardless, the colour blue here for the clothes, it's like being able to speak. It's the opening of that solar, I want to say, I don't know why I felt like saying solar plexus, but it's the throat chakra, right? It's being able to communicate with the environment around you to make things happen. October the 31st can be a thing. The divine unity between that Empress energy and that Emperor energy, right? Letting that red wine flow, being happy with yourself to duality. Okay, now let's have a look. That was the internal cards, those ones for this reading, the below. And what Spirit's saying about things. Okay, so potentially this being physical, being what's seen, it's like hard work here, labouring on your environment, on your universe, to create some sort of like passionate celebration, to be able to show that you've overcome something within yourself and being able to celebrate it. It's like in the winds, a new passionate energy comes along. The old world breaks around you. What you thought was reality isn't reality, because this new passionate idea, or this new sudden change that had happened, it was, broke that around you, which put you into that hermit mode to look within. Yeah. And that looking within, because it's like, this is like the investigator card for me. It's like having a look at how it's shining light on how that tower fell, looking down from above the clouds, looking over this destruction to find out what it was, therefore enabling us to be the king, to be that, to be able to be sovereign within our own environment around us, the physical environment around us, right? And by doing that, it brings death to the old cycles of ourselves, because You can't. Well, once the king has spoken, that being in the feminine as well, right? This is the masculine energy. This is the physical energy. The king, if the king speaks, that's it. What's said is said, and what's done is going to be done, right? But that death then allows us to take that 6 of wands. It's like that being celebrated, having that higher position, people all grouping together and walking forward, celebrating the fact that you're able to make those decisions and changes, bringing you into a time of into a time of rest, because it's like you didn't know whether this was going, it took this and the decision of this to bring about a death to something that can allow you to be celebrated in that sort of way, right? Which, when you celebrate yourself or are celebrated by the actions that you take, it now allows you to be in that place of peace within yourself. Look, being looked over in that church type place that I mentioned before, right? Having your sword laid down beside you because you do not need it at the moment, that resting, regardless. Look, we've got the swords hanging over these bits. It's almost the alignment of the third eye, the throat, and is that the navel chakras? That's got to mean something to somebody. But look, in doing that, in that resting, it's going to provide you with strength, because you've got a new emotional endeavor coming up. It's like a new mastery. It's speaking to your emotions. You are speaking to your emotions, or listening to your emotions, right? Which brings you then into mastering being the queen, mastering your emotional environment, so that the king to the queen, observing in the making that physical choice, the physical authoritative choice, going through this process to allow you emotionally to gain sovereignty over your emotion. The process may include that staying up at night, but it's going to bring you new messages of yourself, right? And then we've got the 3 of wands and the upright, going forward, surveying your outside kingdom. But after the queen, I believe this is surveying your inside, like we had here, surveying inside of your kingdom and doing that work. King of Swords. That was a weird reading, and it's been a while since I've done that, but thank you for being here with me.